Hey guys, so today I'm going to talk about my favorite drugstore and affordable sunscreen options. Most of these are available at typical Target or Walgreens, CVS, and a few of them are more available at Ulta. But anyway, so these are some of my current favorites, and you're going to notice a couple things. Most of these are mineral sunscreens, and why is that? Because in the US, we really don't have that many exciting chemical filters, and most of them either end up irritating my eyes or not being very impressive in terms of how great the protection is. So there's not a whole ton of options, but I've got some, and they're all fragrance-free except for one of them, which I'll mention. So first off, we've got the Byoma Moisturizing Gel Sunscreen, which is a newer one. This one's a chemical sunscreen. We've got avobenzone, homosalate, and octisalate, and it's really nice. I think I did a demo of it recently, and I can definitely do a full review when we get to sunscreen week. Hopefully the summer arrives. I thought summer was coming, and now it's 49 degrees out again, so always nice. So whatever. Hopefully it doesn't snow again because it's almost June. So anyway, but this stuff is really nice and really light, and it's got a really nice gel texture to it, and it's pretty affordable. And Bioma's a pretty decent brand. They've made a few misses in their day, but most of their products are overall pretty good and pretty affordable and available at Target. Okay, next up. And I know I did a video demo of this one because I actually was really impressed with it. And that's the Neutrogena Mineral UV Tint. I think they have 4 different shades. I got the shade Light. This one's titanium dioxide, zinc oxide sunscreen. I really appreciate the tint because the tint is enough where I just set it with powder and go for the day. UV or SPF 30 is not super impressive. On a day like today, it's perfect because there's not much sun. But if I'm going to be outside sweating or on the boat or something like that, I'm going with something like high-powered. Something more like the EV sunscreen, which is super high-powered but very expensive and hard to get. But with my hyperpigmentation melasma, and as far as it's come, I'm not messing around with it. But anyway, on a day like today, it's perfect. So anyway, and really is nice that you don't have to use a foundation over it if you don't want to. Okay, next up, Avene has some great options, even in the U.S., and this is their Mineral Solaire SPF 50+, and I really do enjoy this one. It's got zinc oxide. It has a nice tint to it. They have some great options in Europe for their chemical sunscreens, and they've got special filters and things like that that are really strong, but their stuff in the U.S., especially the mineral stuff, is just fine. It's great, and typically fragrance-free and pretty affordable, so they're worth checking out. The other one, Eucerin, has some nice options as well. Cetaphil, their sheer daily sunscreen tinted, is great. I think I went through my whole bottle last year when I reviewed it. And Cetaphil, their tinted face sunscreen, is great. The other ones from Cetaphil I didn't love because they were thick and really, really unelegant, but their tinted mineral face sunscreen was great, and I think I finished that one too. Okay, next up from Versed, the Guards Up SPF 35 Mineral Sunscreen. The tint for this one is wonderful, and it's a really nice sunscreen. It's fragrance-free. It's a great one. I use this one more often in the winter. It's pretty hydrating, which I actually really like. And then in the winter, I'll just use it and go. It's not, it's kind of thicker for summer, but it's really nice mineral sunscreen without any fragrance, and it's really, really affordable, and SPF 35 is pretty good, so worth checking out if you're in the market. Okay, next up, this one is the one with fragrance in it. I will mention that. It has a little bit of lavender oil in it, but it seems to be one that really works well for a lot of people. Actually, I've read on a lot of Reddit threads where people mention, like, I can use almost any sunscreen, or I can't use any sunscreen except this one, and it's the one with lavender oil. I don't know how that happens, but it's the Bliss Block Star, titanium dioxide, zinc oxide, a little bit of lavender oil in it. But it is really nice and pretty affordable. It's got a really nice tint to it as well. So I love my tinted mineral sunscreens, can you tell? But anyway, so I've just read from so many people with super sensitive skin that this is like one of the only ones that works for them. So I don't know. Go for it. Yeah, the lavender oil is problematic for some people, but anyway, I'll mention it and point it out, and if it works for some people, that's awesome. No problem with that, but it is really nice and elegant otherwise, so. Okay, next up, this brand is known for a lot of their mineral sunscreens, but one of their favorites that I end up really liking is their chemical one. It's the Sun Bum Face SPF 50. It uses avobenzone, homosalate, octosalate, and octocrylene. And it's just really nice and no fragrance in it. Although I will mention now that I'm peering at the back of the bottle, it contains methylxyzylolone. So be careful with that. Just be sure at the end of the day to wash it off. And overall, it's a really nice sunscreen with the exception of that. I don't know what Sun Bum was thinking including that ingredient, but I've been able to use it without much problems. But typically I use this one more on my body, so maybe that's why. I don't know. But overall, it seems to work okay. I guess if you have very sensitive skin, even though it's fragrance-free, that methylxyzylolone is an issue. So anyway, keep that in mind. But when I was in Puerto Rico, this was one of the ones my friend picked up and brought with. And she ordered them and had them sent there before because we're not checking any bags. So we got there, we had tons of different sunscreens. This is one of them. I actually really liked it. So, okay, next up, onto a new note. We've got the Black Girl Sunscreen SPF 30 Moisturizing Sunscreen. It's a chemical sunscreen. It has, it's made for people with deeper skin tone, so there's no tint to it. Obviously, it's a chemical sunscreen, so most of those don't have a tint to them unless they're using some of the European filters that do have a white cast, but this one has no cast to it. It's lovely. It's really hydrating. It's a nice one, and there's no scent to it, which is really lovely. Which plays into my next one, which is the Black Girl Sunscreen for Kids version, which is also chemical sunscreen. And I guess the main difference between these two is that the one for kids doesn't contain octocrylene. So, but otherwise it's got some really nice hydrating ingredients and shea butter and chamomile and carrot and jojoba oil, avocado oil. It's really nice and hydrating. It's really wonderful sunscreen. And to be honest, I love them both, but the kids version I like a little bit better. So go figure. And then, okay, last but not least, for the Black Girl sunscreen, their Make It Glow spray sunscreen is really nice. I like to use this one on my body, or sometimes I just use a little bit on my face, just as a reapplication, but it's really lovely. And sprays are always nice and handy if you're out and about, and it's pretty affordable too. And 3 ounces and fragrance free too. So, okay, we got a couple more. So going into a different vein, kind of the Ulta type products, I've got the Good Molecules Sheer Mineral Sunscreen SPF 30. Probably not at Target or CVS, but at Ulta I think it's $12, and it actually is really pretty sheer for being a mineral sunscreen. It really has, if you take a few minutes to smooth it into your skin, there really is no noticeable white cast in it, which is pretty impressive. They must use nano minerals, but anyway, I don't know. I'll have to check. But anyway, very nice product and very sheer, but still hydrating, but not drying. A lot of mineral sunscreens can be kind of like drying, yet feel greasy, but kind of drying at the end of the day. This one is just hydrating. It feels really nice. So, okay, next up, no link to this one because you kind of have to be in the U.S. and you kind of have to go to a store to buy it. It's the Trader Joe's Daily Facial Sunscreen SPF 40. And to be honest, coming from Trader Joe's, I really expected this one to be mineral, but it's not. It's a chemical sunscreen. It has a gel texture to it and no fragrance, and the gel texture to this one is really lovely, and it really smooths into your skin really nice. I can't even see it. There we go. Okay. Yeah, it's a very nice sunscreen, really affordable. I've been meaning to do a video on all Trader Joe's stuff, but this one seems to be mentioned a lot as an alternative to the Super Goop sheer screen. And it really has just a nice texture that smooths in and feels nice and matte and very nice. You can't really feel it on your skin at all, and really lovely. So no link to that one. And then a couple other ones I want to mention. Australian Gold makes some great ones. I don't know exactly what's going on with this brand because I love the tinted one, but it seems to be in and out of stock all the time, but it's still worth mentioning. I really love it. And I love the fact that their tinted versions have different tones and shades to them. And then the Pan Oxo Oil Control Moisturizer is also really nice and fragrance free, and has a little bit of a white cast to it, but overall it's really nice and great for like oilier skin types is kind of what it's geared towards. Let me see if I have this area open to apply it. There we go. Anyway, so it's made for more sensitive skin that's acne prone. It is pretty nice. It has a little bit of white cast, but once you apply a little bit of powder or something over it, it doesn't show at all, and it's still really nice and really affordable. So, and Vanity Cream also has several options that I've had good luck with in the past too. So anyway, these are my favorite drugstore sunscreens. I always end up at the drugstore looking at them, and unless it's mineral or tinted, it's hard to get me excited about them because there's just so many other great options other places, but except for the US. But anyway, some of these are all great and can't go wrong with any of these. So anyway, interested hearing from you guys if you have a favorite drugstore sunscreen that I didn't mention. What is it and what do you love about it? Leave a comment. Love hearing from you guys, and stay tuned for more tomorrow. Thanks so much. Bye, guys.